Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. So in previous video we pretty much have made a simple max function in LLVM IR. Pretty much we use the select instruction, which is basically like a ternary operator. So like we have here the condition, and if it's true then we get A, otherwise we get B essentially, and this is how we did it. But in today's video we're gonna actually see some more stuff. The thing is, we want to actually do something before or after we return that A value and that B value, right? So we want to have some side effects, but using the simple select instruction, we can't actually do that. Though it's quite simple, you don't need extra blocks and you don't need any of that crazy machinery, right? But today we're gonna learn how to first of all define some external variadic function prototype like printf and call it how you can call it using a string, even a global string. And we're going to learn about alloca for basically allocating some variables on the stack, some memory on the stack. And we're also going to learn about PHI nodes for eliminating memory operations essentially in the if condition. And yeah, so let's get started. All right, so let's start by getting our print function. So how we could do this? Well, we're gonna define, because the thing is here we're actually indeed making a prototype for our max function, but once we start to add like these basic blocks, it's not just a prototype anymore. It got a definition, it got a body. So let's actually add a prototype for our printf function. So it's called printf, right? Let's call it printf, and the printf type here, it's going to return integer, and for the parameters it's going to take a pointer type. So for a pointer type we could say pointer type get. Now get, you're going to notice that it have two overloads, one that you give it like the element type. In our case it's going to be a char, so it's going to be an i8, so we could do similar to this guy to get the i8. And then after that you give it the context, actually the address space, which is going to be 0. In our case, since we are in LLVM 21, this is not the case anymore. All pointers are opaque, meaning they don't have any clue about which type they point to. They're like void pointers essentially. So we're going to use the second overload, which is our context, and then the address space, which is 0. Now here in our printf type, the parameters would be only going to take the pointer type essentially for the string, and it's going to be a variadic function, right? Which means that you give it the pointer or whatever params you have here, then you could give it how much parameters you want, right? And then you could like access them in the function body using VA and so on, just like C. But yeah, there you go. So that's cool. All right, we got now printf. Next up, what we're gonna do, we need a few blocks for the branches. We need, so let's start with the 3 blocks that we have done yesterday, right? So we got our then block, then, and we got our else block, else, and there we go. Also, I'm honestly gonna rename this IR builder to just B to keep it very concise. Other than that, we're gonna keep, of course, the condition in our entry block. But now instead of returning directly select, we're gonna do something else. All right, so let's see how we could do this. All right, so what we're gonna do here after the condition is we're gonna say b dot create condition br. So we're gonna jump depending on a condition, which is our condition here, and true block, which is gonna be our then block. So we're gonna jump, if it's that condition is true, then we're gonna jump to the then block, otherwise the else block. And that's pretty much it. Next up, what we're gonna need is 2 blocks, just like we've done in the previous video. So right now I'm just literally just rewriting it pretty much. So we're gonna have our then block here, and what we're gonna do here is let's say we want to actually call the printf function. How we could do that? Well, b dot create call, and here the function that we're going to call, which is printf, and then we're going to need the arguments. So let's give it the arguments. In our case, it's going to be a string that we're going to define right now, and just going to be like a literal string, a global literal string. So how we could create that? Well, autostir is equal to b dot create global string, not global string ptr. This one was useful at some time, but this one is also deprecated right now, so you just use this because, you know, all pointers are opaque right now. So here's string ref. So the string that we want, in this case, we're going to say that a is bigger. We're going to print that a is bigger, and we're going to add a new line here pretty much, and that's basically it. And finally, we're going to actually return out of this function create ret. What we're going to return is, in this case, arg-a. And we're going to do a similar thing for the else block. Right, str2, and b is bigger. There you go. So that should work out just fine. Whoops, that should be arg-b, but it should be fine for now. Oh, whoopsies, let's see. Calling a function with bad signature. Huh. Did I miss something? Oh, okay. Printf type like this. All right, my bad. And the other thing is this should be argb. Copy paste sucks, but later on we're gonna do some abstractions so we don't copy anything anymore, but that's gonna come later. All right, so this should work and should give us our LLVM IR. Pretty much. All right, there you go. Now, let's say for whichever reason, we actually want to call the printf after, getting our result. So what's going to happen is that we're going to do something like this. This is not a great example. I mean, not a realistic example, but hopefully would get the point across, right? So let's say we have this and we have that. Now, what's going to happen here is that here we're going to return, and this wouldn't execute, right? We're going to return out of the function. What I'm trying to say here is that we can't actually add some more instructions after that, after we return. And right now, our function have 2 exit points, which is not trivial to optimize. Usually, the optimizers, LVM optimizers, actually go ahead and make it sure that it's only one exit so we can optimize well, right? So instead of this way, what we could do is we could have a one return and keep track of one variable. So how we can make a variable? So let's go back into the entry block, make sure that's the case, because you can only make variables there, I believe. Kind of like, the C99, I believe, or something like that. But anyways. All right, so how we can make a create a variable. So let's say var is equal to alloca. So basically b dot create alloca. There you go. So the type of the variable here, which is going to be our i32, and null ptr here, and we're done. And that's how you create. Well, here we're actually not initializing the variable. We're just allocating a variable in the stack. It could have any garbage values there. If you actually do want to right now like initialize it, what you do is you say b dot create store i32. Well, actually the value here. So the value would be our constant integer get, and then i32. Let's say 10, for example. And here the ptr, which is our var here. And there you go. Because right here, it doesn't actually return for you the value itself. It returns for you a pointer to the stack, right? And here we use it with our create store with our store instruction to basically write this constant. And this is how you initialize a variable if you want. In our case, we don't need to initialize it because it would get overridden in both of the branches that we're gonna have here, so no need. All right, so okay, so how are we gonna do this now? Instead of returning right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna store arg_a in var if this branch gets executed. Otherwise, if this branch gets executed, we're gonna store b. It's kind of like here we're saying var is equal to b, and here we're saying var is equal to b, essentially, right? Sorry, a. And here we're basically saying printf stir, kinda. And yeah, that's basically how it goes. And here we're just like doing stir is equal to you know, whatever that is. Anyways, let's not overcomplicate stuff right now. Let's just remove these comments for now. It's fine. But yeah, right now, what we're gonna do at the end of all this, as you know, every single block should have at least what I've done there. I'm not sure. Let me see. Okay. So every basic block should have at least one terminator instruction, which basically either returns from the function or jumps somewhere, either conditionally or unconditionally, basically. So here we want to jump unconditionally to the merge block, but we don't have a merge block yet. So let's create one. Merge block. So essentially here, as you can see, your function is just a graph of basic blocks, right? So it's called CFG, control flow graph, right? And basically here we're filling it. And like here, for example, when we say create con BR, depending on that condition, we're gonna either jump, like we have kind of like a link to another node, to another block, then B, or else BB, and so on. So in this case, for example, the merge block would have two predecessors in that graph. It would have, it would have then block and the else block, right? And yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. Anyways, so this is our merge block. And now in both of the branches that we have here, we can actually jump to it. So how we can do that? Well, br, create br. So not const br, because we just want to jump with no condition. And here the destination would be our merge bb. So this is the end of then bb, and then the end of else bb. And there you go. And that's how you do it this way too. So basically I'm showing you all the methods you could do so you could learn all the LLVM IR stuff that you have, all right, that you need. So basic block and function max does not have a terminator. Yeah, we haven't filled the merge block yet. So merge bb, and in the merge block we're not gonna do much right now currently. You know what is the merge block here? So essentially here, for example, this if condition, this is the condition, right? And then you got the then block, and then you could even have an else block. But after that, you have the merge block when you go outside of the if function, or like if statement, essentially. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. All right, so here be create ret. So we're gonna return our result, right? But we can't just say create ret var. That doesn't work. I don't think it would even work really, because it's not the same type. I mean, var is a pointer. Yeah, as you can see, function return type does not match operand type of return inst, right? So ret ptr0 i32 failed to verify function, right? So to actually grab the actual value that is currently in that variable or in that memory, we could say b.create load or load. load was, so here i32, and the value would be our var. And that's basically how you do it. That's the other method of using alloca. to make an if condition. And for the final method of doing this, it would be to use a PHI node. Now, a PHI node is interesting because it would allow us to eliminate memory operations and just work with SSA. So LLVM, if you know, it's SSA. What SSA means is basically that you could just say A equal to 10. You can't say like A is equal to A plus 1 or whatever again, right? You can't reassign a variable. Once you assign it, you're done. If you want to like, increment it, then you just have to make another variable and so on. That's what is SSA. There's other ones, like there's some languages that uses the stack. There's some others that uses a graph where you don't have any blocks at all. You just like everything is a node in the graph. But in LLVM, we kind of had a hybrid, like you have blocks in a graph, right? But yeah. So now the problem with this SSA is that here we can't just change, a value, right, in between these branches. But we could do a little hack. A PHI node allows us to change the value we're going to assign depending on which branch we're coming from, depending on the control flow. Right, so let's actually remove these memory stuff. So let's remove this, and let's remove this, and let's remove finally this. So here what we're going to return instead phi. And let me show you this phi here. So we're going to create phi. And the phi needs a type, which is i32. And basically the branches, in our case, just 2 branches. And there you go. Now what we could say is add incoming branch, right? So the value that we can give is arg_a. So if we're coming from the Dan branch, then please use the argument a value. Otherwise, if we're coming from the else branch, then we're going to use argument b. We're going to return argument b. It's really that simple. As you can see, we don't need alloca anymore. So that's perfect. Now, if you actually run this, just to make sure that it's verified, that we didn't miss it. Oh boy, okay. Should have 1 entry for each predecessor of its parent basic block. Failed to verify function. Should have 1 entry. Okay, let me verify what's going on here. Oh, I actually have noticed it immediately. I just have a typo here. Instead of else BB, we actually want to jump to merge BB, as just like here, essentially. And yeah, that's why. So the thing is, predecessors is, so here, for example, the merge block have 2 predecessors. You have else and then. But when I had else here, which is basically going back to itself, it didn't want to work because it realized that it have only 1 predecessor, and that's why it basically gave this. All right, so let's actually right now run this and see. And there you go. So as you can see right now, our PHI node works. So this is the same max function, but it has some side stuff. So in this case, this is the best way to do it. This is the best way to solve it. You use a PHI node, right? Since we have some side effects, which is calling our printf. But if we didn't have this printf, I mean, you could remove it and it would work just fine. Like, let's remove all the printf stuff because it just was a way to show you some side effects. Right, so let's say we remove the printf, and of course the strings, we don't need them anymore either. Now you just have empty blocks with only 1 terminal instruction or terminator instruction, which is to actually jump to the merge block. And this is also fine. This is also fine. The PHI node would also work here just fine. But if you have something like this where you're not going to do anything else in the branches other than just returning a value in the phi, then you'd better use the one that we've seen in the start of this video, which is the select instruction. Right, so that was it guys for this video. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next one. Goodbye everyone.